Okay, so we're going to talk about the Orbitz system here. This is the Orbit irrigation system. This is actually referred to as the bhyv. This is a 6-station unit. Let's see, we open it up here. You can see here you have 1 through 6. They do actually sell, from what I understand, 12 units. We did purchase this at Home Depot. Now I want to mention I'm not a spokesperson for Home Depot or the Orbitz company. But from what I found, this is the best system on the market for somebody like me who's got a job, busy all the time, and can't be out here 24/7 as a regular farmer would be dedicating his entire day. Now, what we do here is I built a manifold. This basically is fed from this line that goes here underground and over to a water source. So what I have here is a basic manifold. We can shut off the water, do the repairs. We have here two other valves for creating wash stations or whatever uses we need. Here we have for water, for any manual watering we want to do. And now over here we have the 6 valves set up. We actually have 2 empty at the moment. And then we have this one here, which is our number 1, is for birds, actually for the animals, for water. And then we have 3 zones. This zone is going to be for the cactus, some plantains and papaya trees. This is going to be for gardens, as well as this is for gardens. Now we do have one area in the property that we don't have set up on this. It's all the way in the front of the home, because we're in a 1/4 acre lot. So to run all this tubing all the way up there, we just hadn't had the money yet to do so. I would like to get the 12 zone. Because we are looking for property up in Okeechobee, Central Florida, to create a farm, but I'll still be working in South Florida. So with this system, you have many options. You have the automatic, if you can see here, the manual. There's a lot of settings in here. Now, once you've got this set up with your smartphone, you can actually program this system more in depth with soil types of plants. All these different parameters that you can use. You can see here you have a budget that you can set up here. But if you do download the app from Orbitz, you actually can do it much more efficiently. Orbitz does sell a weather station that will wire into this here. So you'll have here, and you actually have a system where this will actually control a pump if you're running from a well. So this system is actually very high-tech, very diverse, very cheap. We paid about $99 for it, a little over $100 after tax. As a veteran myself, we get a discount at Home Depot, 10%. So I recommend all you veterans use that. They didn't offer at the Home Depot the 12 station unit. But I would, later after I purchased it, I found that the Orbitz has a 12 station unit. But the one thing I've talked to Field and Forest, who we get our mushrooms from, tried to recommend this to their customers, because a lot of people actually have mushrooms set out in the forest, out in the woods in a remote area, like we do here. These are shiitake, our night valve. Let's walk around to the other side here from our little structure here. This is our incubation / smokehouse. But what we are going to set up here is misters to ensure that our logs stay moist, and that's really good because if it's raining, this system that Orbitz offers, this is going to be almond agaricus. We're waiting for that to grow. That will take a bit of time. But the one thing Orbitz offers that nobody else offers is a system that connects to the internet. So as long as you have a Wi-Fi or internet access for the Orbitz system to connect to, your irrigation will be controlled either by the weather forecasted for your area. If you're not going to connect the weather station, if you connect the weather station, you'll have a more accurate forecast for your unit to determine the water levels. Once you've gotten the application downloaded to your smartphone, you'll actually see the predicted moisture in your soil. So you're not overwatering. And you actually put in your soil types from sandy, loomy, etc. to determine, so that the system will determine how fast the water will drain from your soil, as well as to what you're planting and so on. This is why I recommend the Orbitz irrigation system, as well as, you know, going through the Home Depot and Lowe's as well. I find that there are better options for building a system than any other company offers. Orbitz actually offers a 3-manifold system, which doesn't require you to do any gluing or connecting. It's actually a valve which looks like an exhaust for a vehicle with your valves set up in it. So here we have the mister that will hit here. The herb garden didn't come in very well this year. We're gonna have to tear this out. But their system is much far better. I can show you here. You have, you know, these are the Orbitz valves, which I find are much easier to take care of than any other brands. Let's see here. Now, the other thing that we did use, because after the fact we did find, is this PVC lock at Home Depot. Because when we did the gluing, you know, I'm not a plumber. It was a bit difficult. We do have a few little leaks, but these PVC locks are second option. I would recommend getting these if you don't get the Orbitz manifold that they manufacture, which is all one solid piece for 3 valves. So you can get 3 for each one. I wouldn't recommend for the average person to going out and doing this when actually it's cheaper price-wise and timely, because this does take a lot of time, is to buy that manifold system that Orbitz offers. It's much easy. You make sure everything is more uniform. So this is what I recommend. I recommend Orbitz. I've gone through, you know, I come from generations of farmers, actually from Michigan, and this is, you know, I tell you, this is a godsend, this system. You know, I hope Orbitz actually takes off more and produces much larger systems for larger farming. You know, I hope that they actually work on their programming to create a diverse system, because I use this actually for my animals. So if they were to create a system with either more valves or more diverse programming, where I can actually have it set up for animals and just basic water maintenance, water control on a property or a farm, this system would be more diverse. So right now I do a lot of the manualing here on the system. Now click here. Now I have programs which will basically how it waters morning, evenings, nights. So I can have in the morning all the papaya trees will water, all the plants will water, all the animals water, but then the animals might be watered 3-4 times a day, and the peppers might be watered at a different amount of time. So those different programs will allow for different setups. So program B, let's go manual here. You got A, B, C programs, which you'll program in your smartphone. Now click on B, and if you hear that, the water now turns on, so the water's activated. And I have over here, the water's kicked on, feeding the birds. So I use it also for the birds, because I can control from anywhere in the world. One of our next steps is to put camera system connected to Wi-Fi, so that we can monitor from anywhere in the world. I do travel. We do have businesses worldwide. We are looking to have other farms, other locations. So it's much easier to have a system where we can log in, look at a camera, see the water system. The next mechanism we want to get is automatic feeders. We'll have those on cameras as well eventually, hope. And we'll have cameras on those, so we don't have to be out there. We can maintain the feeding, the watering, all from a remote location, and actually cut down on labor costs for the farms of having somebody out there to collect and maintain the eggs, collect fruits. We do have eggs that have to be collected every day, but that, you know, we can hire somebody to do at a very cheap rate and not have to pay somebody to maintain the property. Because maintaining the whole property, irrigation, water, that would get very expensive. And $400 for the computer, and for another couple $100 for the irrigation, the tubes, connections. I think for under $500, you could really have a great system. The tube itself here is very cheap. I mean, I wouldn't even consider it. Your cost is so minute. the valves and the computer and the PVC is actually more expensive. If I can show you here, these sprinkler heads, we're using the Orbit pop-ups, which you use for your lawn. And then I found out they have these smaller heads, which you can actually just connect to a PVC. So we don't need the pop-ups. And these are only a few dollars. I think no more than $5. I don't even think they're $5. But these are much better. And this little head here, this is a 180. It will shoot from over here to our raspberry bush, all the way over there, all the way over there. So you're getting a good 15 feet out of this, and we got 2 here on this end here. So these really do a good coverage and getting everything watered. So, and they have a number of different style heads because this is basically what the pop-up's all about. The pop-ups just goes underground, is hiding. So we did spend a little bit of money on the pop-ups, and it wasted some money, but we live and learn. So I recommend to you to try the Orbitz, look into Orbitz system. You know, the one thing we did want to have is the manifolds. We did mount this board, so if we do have to relocate the structure, you know, readjust our design here, we can do that, as well as this manifold, because if we decided to stay here at this 1/4 acre property we have here in Hollywood, which is an urban area, we're not talking out in the country, not in the farm area. You know, we got neighbors all around us. We can dismount this, move the building without damaging the manifold. So we mounted everything on a separate board. We can unscrew, take this off, and actually everything is moved in pieces. But you know, again, I'm going to look into the Orbitz manifolds as soon as we can get a 12 system. I'd love to talk to Orbitz and see what they're planning to do for programming, because basically it comes down to software and to controlling the hardware. So hopefully they do advance further. They are the most advanced product out there and cheap. Looking at the comparison to buying very generic systems, the extra few dollars to spend on the automatic Wi-Fi system is worth it, because it does run like any other system even without Wi-Fi. So when you're down, you don't have Wi-Fi power outages, this still runs, this still works. So you know, we can hook up to the generator, run the system off a generator. We might not have Wi-Fi connection, but once it's programmed, it's going to run on its own. So you're good to go. So if you guys have any questions, leave your comments. Go check out Orbitz. Just, you know, put it in your online search. Orbitz bhyv, Orbit irrigation. But make sure you put in the water irrigation or Orbitz bhyv. I'll show you again real quick so you can see it. Orbit bhyv Wi-Fi. Here's the Orbitz, orbit.com, Orbit online, www.orbit. Sorry, get you in there. That's www.orbitonline.com. There's a customer service number. I'm not showing you. There, see, this is the model number there, 57946, 6 station. So you know, this is a pretty good system. Water's just ended. There's our time. We're at 6 p.m. So take a look at it, guys. See what you can do. Any questions, hit me up. I'll try to answer them, but I am busy, as I do have the farm to run, and I do property management, and we have real estate company. So we'll be posting more videos about different things and ideas for the urban farmer as well as the country farmer out there with a bigger farm with acreage. All these techniques work on a large scale. Actually, the techniques I use on the farm are downsized from a commercial aspect. So we're basically finding a technique to use commercial in an urban way and making it cost effective and cheaper. So keep your eyes open for the coming videos. I just want to show you real quick. This is the pop-ups we used. Paid a little bit more money for that. We got another one over there on that side. And we did have a hurricane, so everybody's got boarded up here. Hurricane Matthew down here in October of 2016. This was supposed to be tomatoes, but some of the chickens got out and annihilated it. But anyways, keep your eyes open for upcoming videos.